I have never been a big pot smoker, very occasionally, but it's not something that I really do on a regular basis, not even in edible form. So that wasn't really a draw for me in considering Foria. Foria has become a regular component of my sex life now. I would say probably 40% of all sex incorporates Foria at this point in various contexts. What I love most about Foria is that it has brought a whole nother dimension to my orgasms. I'm a 51-year-old woman. I know my body very well. I've had a lot of orgasms, and consistently Foria provides me with another level of physical pleasure. After a Foria orgasm, I'm closer to my partner, I'm closer to myself. It's a deep level of empowerment and connectedness with who I am. What is the worth of an amazing orgasm? I don't know that you can put a price on that. And to be able to have them regularly?
I was inspired to try Foria because since I've been sexually active, I have been running this story that I am one of the many women that can't achieve orgasm through traditional sex, through penetration. And that is really painful. Not to mention, I experienced pain when I was younger with my first partners, just really excruciating, not fun intercourse. And so there's, it's very debilitating to think there's something wrong with you, or I think can turn into a vicious cycle. When a woman doesn't experience orgasm, it feels like you're broken. It feels like, there's some very huge thing that you're missing. And so that was really my inspiration for seeking out Foria and seeing what all the hype was about. And I will tell you, it has changed. It has changed my life. But more than anything, reaching those states of ecstasy through using Foria, once you've visited there, it's easier to go back. There's probably some neurological reasons for that, and I feel really grateful to be able to experience orgasm now through my own practices and not always using Foria. There's no dependency for me on it. I love it. I use it a lot, but I'm certainly not dependent.
I was introduced to Foria by a really close dear friend who had heard about my situation, diagnosed with breast cancer. Walking through the process of recovery with breast cancer, it offered me an alternative and a gift to be able to stay in touch with my sexuality and my juiciness of being a woman, especially at this age. I was alone. I applied Foria, and about 20 minutes later, I decided that it was time to kind of go in and have myself. And I had such a great experience. And after it was over, I got up and I kind of pulled myself together. And then I walked into the kitchen. I thought, I'm not done. I had to go back. Well, I got to go back and continue. It's amazing. It's just so deep and sensational. I can't even explain. It's ridiculous. The Foria orgasm. Wow. Deeper pleasure, multiple orgasms, sensorial feeling. Your neighbors are going to freak out.
I heard about Foria through the internet. I saw a few articles online, and it sounded really interesting, and I was naturally curious about it. People knew that I had a fondness for cannabis, and that I'm also a sexuality educator, so a lot of those articles made their way to me. The first time I used Foria, I was actually by myself. I really wanted to have the entire experience and really be able to tune into my body and not have to worry about what was happening with my partner and just really be able to focus on myself. Foria completely changed my orgasm. Typically, when I'm masturbating, my orgasms kind of go hit and then pretty immediately go down. When I'm using Foria, it's more like peak, 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 peak. Like, there are so many multifaceted layers to the orgasm that don't exist typically when I'm masturbating without it. My partner and I, the first time we used Foria together, really, really enjoyed it. He liked the way that my body was responding, the way that I was responding to touch, the way that my orgasms were so different than they were without Foria. He could actually tell a difference. And I was really grateful for that because he was paying more attention to my body because we had introduced this new variable. So it ended up being a much more synergistic experience.
When I first heard about Foria and started using it, I was a one orgasm kind of girl. I never really even thought that multiple orgasms was possible. I thought you just were lucky if you had one, and then it was game over. Introducing Foria into my sex routine opened me up to a whole new world that I never even thought was possible. The experience was different than any other orgasm I've ever had. The orgasm was intense. It was deep. It felt like it wasn't just coming from the surface. It felt as if all of my muscles down there were engaged. And sometimes when I talk about it, I tell people it felt like I was having an orgasm from my soul.